What's up, folks? Casual Dad here with another quick Overwatch video. I actually hopped on to watch one of my nephew's replays, and it was a older version of the game, so I wasn't able to actually watch it. But then recently, in my reading, edifying myself, I read an interesting article that was talking about how being skilled at StarCraft, I think it was StarCraft 2 in the subject, is actually incredibly good for your brain. Weird. Talked about neural plasticity and how it's just better for your kind of reflexes and overall brain health to be good at something like StarCraft. And StarCraft 2 is just the easy example. Um, but recently in my Get Good series, kind of training myself to get better at games in general, and particularly Overwatch 2, because that's one of the ones I'm playing a lot. I have noticed that if my brother and my nephews and I warm up with a game of StarCraft before we play Overwatch, it is a completely different experience. Like, I can get a little bit of that whoa factor when I'm playing Overwatch 2, where I'm kind of overwhelmed by the amount of stuff that's happening, and it delays my reactions, right? So where I'm not keeping up to the point where I should be, make some worse plays, have some worse aim, and it's interesting to see that because this past week I played one game where it was immediately after a particularly intense game of StarCraft, and I was just on fire. So I wanted to spectate two games. I'm going to watch at least part of this one, and then I'm going to jump to the other one so we can get a sense to see if it feels any different, because it felt very different in the moment, but I kind of want to see if it does as much when I'm watching the replay. Little Junkrat flying around. I love Junkrat. Uh, very weird and unique hero, and you just see kind of. It is funny how much slower it looks. Actually, let me turn the game sound down a bit. That is going to be real loud. There we go. And again, I don't want to watch all of it. I'm just kind of looking at how quickly I'm moving, how long it's taking me to make decisions, like where am I going to shoot, where am I going to drop a det pack, what am I doing? And it's not like I'm probably slow, especially compared to professional players, but I'm not really that slow, and I'm reasonably proud. Look at this flanker over here. Look at that Doomfist coming up the window I didn't even see. Reasonably proud of how well I'm able to react to things in the game, and I totally missed that Sombra too, especially having played a fair bit and kind of gotten used to this stuff. So I'm reacting, I'm throwing shots, I'm like trying to figure out what's going on. We had an extremely aggressive opposing team here on Blizzard World, this was a pretty cool matchup. Doomfist and Reaper against Junkrat, and I did okay. So from there, we hit a ceiling. Ceilings are Junkrat's worst enemy. If there's a ceiling over you, they're your worst enemy. If they're over someone else, it's your best friend. So I just kind of wanted to take a minute to kind of watch the speed of play, kind of again thinking about that decision making. I'm going to watch for one more life, and then we'll see where it goes from there. Depending if it's a really embarrassing short life, maybe I'll go longer. And then I'm going to boot up the other replay real quick just to kind of take a look at the difference. So this again is without StarCraft. This is your brain, your Overwatch 2 play without StarCraft. Doing okay, sticking with the team, supporting the team, looking for off angles, looking for squishies to hit, and I think I got that one. Somebody did. And this was pretty cool. We pushed them back. Like a Doomfist, Reaper, Sombra, very, very aggressive team. Was playing pretty well. I was telling, he was shocked, but I was telling my brother that I felt we had no business defending that first point, and we did pretty well. And there's a Life Weaver. I think they had a Mercy. Mercy Life Weaver was their supports. But anyway, so you can see it's a little bit slower. And I'm watching this even now, and it feels somewhat slow. And in the game, of course, it did not feel that slow. There's just a ton going on, a lot of decisions going on, a lot of kind of skills and figuring out when exactly to do things. And I'm doing a lot of stuff like bopping off the high ground when I feel too predictable, because I know that they have a lot of dive characters that can come onto the high ground. I'm backing up aggressively because I don't want to get caught like that. But then also I'm having a lot of fun with stuff like this where Junkrat's detonation pack is also a great escape move to get away from Doomfist, although it obviously didn't work there. That was my second life, so I wanted to kind of keep that pace in mind. And let's go ahead and boot up the other replay because I don't want this to be a super long video. So this is immediately following a warm-up of StarCraft. So I want to kind of compare the difference and look especially at that like decision-making, aim, and just kind of speed that things happen. And there may be no difference, may not be able to see it at all. But for me, already I'm seeing just my placement of detonation packs is just a hair faster. My twitch reflexes are a little higher, are a little faster. Even there, making that jump is just a little bit more precise than I would normally get. And let's see how it actually looks in play, because we're still obviously loading. We got 15 seconds of loading. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Sorry, I won't count down. But yeah, and I'm curious to sort of put this to the test. And my twitch reflexes are definitely a little higher. I'm clearly running on adrenaline after a crazy match of StarCraft. And there I saw the opposing team and just little analysis things, and I may be overinterpreting, just like seeing where they were immediately and reacting to where they were is dramatically faster than the last game. And they're further and farther away. I mean, further and farther away are the same things, right? But I'm peeking and taking the shots much more quickly. It doesn't take me as long seeing the opposing player to react to it. I'm actually shooting at them, which is nice. And I'm not going to watch this very long. Again, I want it to be a pretty short video, but immediately realizing that Soldier was there and reacting to it, I am seeing some differences, but I will say this isn't as dramatic as I was kind of expecting, which is kind of good. So that I was assuming that my typical play is dramatically slower than what I felt in this game, but it's actually pretty on par. But still, I do feel like the decision making was just a little bit faster, to the point that I was really having more of an impact in this game than I was in the last one. And not dying. I haven't died at all this whole game so far. And things like strategically using my detonation packs, using my skills, I felt the difference, and that may be the most important thing. It's just understanding that if I feel the difference, there's a difference, whether or not it shows in play. And this, I think, is one of my crowning achievements. We'll see here if this shows it. And then I'll stop after that, because it's not as dramatic as I expected. But still, maybe you can see differences, maybe you can't, but I will still say the point stands that playing StarCraft 2 is extremely good for your kind of like mental freshness and mental capacity to play something like Overwatch. There's something about the different kinds of decision making, the complexity of things that happen, the speed of the game that make Overwatch actually somewhat relaxing, where if you don't warm up with StarCraft, it can immediately be stressful. Oh, let's do it. Let's do it. This is one of my proudest Overwatch 2 moments as just a scrub. Blam! 4 of them. Nice. Anyway, that was it. So hopefully this was fun. I'm sorry, my dear nephew, that I didn't get to watch your replay, but hopefully this was fun too. Until next time.